Hey there, welcome back to the table. Let's get rolling. I never did find those markers. And I'm starting to wonder, like, did I just always not have them or what's going on? But I have more than enough cannon markers as long as these two games are combined. It really annoys me. I don't know if you can see that, but I just rolled a 6. And I think a 6 means we're doing map 3. Yes, it does. So we're going to do map 3 again, which we just had some decent success with. I don't even know why I bothered putting this away. So let's get out map 3. I remember why I put it away, because I thought the markers were underneath it somehow. Reaching across the table, hard thing to do. First world problems. Okay, map number 3 again, just to give you an idea. So it's 3 bombers per element. And then, what was I going to say? Oh, excuse me. The lethality levels are a bit lower. So, sorry, I really am pushing hard to try to finish this. I'm getting a lot of feedback from a lot of you that this is probably one of the most exciting playthroughs in a long time. So that part I really do appreciate, and I don't even disagree. I mean, I think this has been a really decent playthrough. So just to recap, we're at 81. We need to get to 60 to get a win for the season. So guess what? We blew way past that. I'm trying to get a double win, which is allowed in this game. So we're trying to do that. We currently have 1 win so far. This is our 3rd season? 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, this is our 4th season. We only have 1 win. So we need 4 total to win the campaign. So this would get us to 3, which isn't even a win of the campaign, but it's very much needed. So I'm trying to get to 120. We have 100 experience points. That number just keeps growing and growing, and we have no OP penalty. So I think we're going to tell the Americans to pound sand here. Absolutely. So I can tell you with certainty that we're going to make sure there's no escorts, even if I have to pay experience points. So I'm going to be breaking the rules a little bit and waiting until we're done with this sheet before I buy my units. And it doesn't matter. No matter what I roll, the outcome's going to be changed. I have 100 experience points. Trust me on that. I can also tell you we're going to make sure it's an inbound mission. Since I have no OP penalty, I'm going to take the full 20. So this is what I want. Inbound 20, no escort. And if I roll anything else, we're going to pay 7 experience points, and we can afford it. So let's go. So the first one, I rolled a 2, which is inbound. So sometimes the dice just works in mysterious ways, right? So there we go. I didn't have to pay any experience. So now let's roll for the OP. Well, I hope. I mean, I know none of you are here, and it's just me talking to a small camera. But I really hope and pray that you guys are laughing at home with this. This is just 100% funny. I mean, Okay, so we got a 20. So let's roll for the escorts. That's a 4. Oh, look, I finally have to pay 7 experience. All right, so I will do that. We're going to pay 7, and I'm just going to put a dash right now to indicate that. I may end up paying 7 more experience to change the outcome of how many mission turns there are and how many tactical points we start with, stuff like that. So we get to do 20, which is a very, very healthy number. So first of all, we got our little rocket dudes. And we may want to take the rockets away because we learned that the cannons are good. My issue is I just want more cannons, and I'm capped at 12. That's my problem. So let's just assemble the team. Autobots. Assemble. And then we'll maybe make some adjustments. So, and you would think I'd have this memorized by now, but I don't. So we got the ME410s with some cannons. And then we have these ME410s with some cannons. And then we're going to have Barr, Ifland, and Schmidt, attorneys at law. And give them some cannons. And I think we're going to give them some armor too. I like that idea. The armor was pretty sweet. It didn't save anybody last time, but just knowing I can add a +2 to a die roll, that actually prevents a death. So armor is a pretty sweet thing. I mean, obviously, it only works on certain categories, but cockpit, engine, and fuel are pretty common. And so then, so basically I'm making Sturm 190s, which is why I keep bringing that rule up. I really like that rule. I think if I ever were to play again, we're going to throw in some optional rules to mix this up some more. Okay, so errands. Frey has just luck and nothing else. And then Obleaser has luck and nothing else. But that's what we have extra. Buttfargen would be awesome right now, but he died. So we got 3 more. And we can give them cannons and armor as well. And it's really funny, but right now we have a BF-109 that's completely dead. Like, you know, permanently dead. And, but in terms of like being killed once, the FW-190s have been killed once more often. And for whatever reason, I keep favoring them because, as you can tell, I'm going in with 4 FW-190s and only 2 BF-109s. I don't think that was intentional. It's just, it sort of turned out that way. And they're the ones that have the experience points. But like I have like a, so Buttfargen's permanently dead, so I have him there. And then you can see here, I have these guys, and what they are is they're the ones that have died once. So I put them off to the side so I don't accidentally take them. And then these ones here are the ones I'm choosing from every time I do a mission. And you can see we're loaded with BF-109s. It's just that they're all regular experience. And then we have Doppler. He's the only FW-190 that we're not taking. So always interesting how that turns out. Okay, moving on. Bigger and better things. Oh, we got to count this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The armor should only cost 1, right? Yep, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And I still have 2 more to spend. So obviously we would get some Ju-88s in for, you know, cannon fodder. And then I have 1 more I can still add. So I'm thinking I'm just going to throw in like an FW-190 or a BF-109, just anybody who's got some experience here. So Doppler has none. Richter has 3. So he's close to a level up. So we can throw in a Richter. He has no armor. I know this looks like bombs, but these are armor. And the other option I have is to bring in a cable. We tried this last time, and it's not a bad deal. So a cable is literally 1, and the Ju-88s can have a cable. So we can put cables on Ju-88s, or we can put rockets on them. So instead of bringing in Richter, what I can do is put a cable, if I can find it. Oh my gosh, where are all my cables? I swear to you, I feel like somebody's just stealing my components while I'm gone. Where the heck did I put the cables? Okay, I found all my rockets. All right, now I'm laughing. There's clearly something missing here. Okay, here we go. The cables on the other side are armor, whereas here it's bombs. So I was getting those confused, and my biggest apologies. I didn't realize that that was even a thing. So I found those at least. No lost items there. Okay, so I'm going to just put a cable on one of these guys and bank on the fact that I may only need to lose two. And if I have to lose the third with the cable, then so be it. I think that that might be more helpful than having Richter. If I had another OP, I would bring in Richter with a cable, but I don't. The OP, I remember I only had two OPs. I could have brought in Richter with a cable, but then I wouldn't have the ones to go off if there's a malfunction. So that's the challenge, is I like having these dead beats. I meant to say dead weights that we can get rid of. So that's what we're going to do. All right, let's get into the vector map. Oh, we got to do way more than the vector map. We got to get out the situation manual. We're on map 3 here, and it's inbound, so page 13. Here's some dice, and let's get cracking. So I'm going to roll the dice. You can see I got a 5, and that puts us here. So there's a damage to this guy and that guy. So if I put the camera down, the first damage is on this guy, which is just a wing. And then the next damage is back here on an element that we know and love. And that one's fallen. So we don't get to pursue that guy. He's just somehow down on arrival. So that element's already weaker. Now we're going to roll for anchored. I rolled a 7. And if you can trust me on this, the anchored is right here on level and low. So that's done. Next we have sun. And that is on high flank on the other end of on the other flank. Okay, now we're going to do tactical points. 8 is a very good number. That gets us 4 tactical points. That puts us up to 6. And then we get a 10 for the flight limit. And so even when I'm telling you I want to spend experience points, we just don't. In fact, I lose 2 turns of flight limit because that 10 gives me 12 flight limit turns. And then, of course, the vector map gives me 2 more, and I don't even get to use those. Now let's roll for contrails. There's none. I don't know if I can spend experience to change the contrails. I'm going to go with no, even if the answer really is yes. I don't know. That feels like I'm cheating it too much. Contrails to me seems like a weather thing, so we're just going to let it go. Okay, so it's the usual suspects, right? These 3 are going to fly individually. Everybody else is in groups. And like I said, we're just marching right up the middle. I may occasionally move one to the low. There's not a change. If you're this far in the video series, you're probably sick of me bringing it up. And as always, high rolls win. Oh, that's a 16. That's a really good roll. And there it is. We got a straggler. So let's roll for the straggler. I rolled an even. So this straggler has 2 damage. So it has a wing and an engine. That's a very interesting scenario. I could arguably send a Ju-88 after it. Or why not send one of my guys who needs experience points, right? It's just that now these guys aren't available to pursue on the other map, but we sort of have BF-109s and stuff like that that can do it. So I just need to look at my pilot roster here. Frey has luck with 0 experience. Aaron's has luck and timing with 1. And then this one here is Obleaser. He is 1 experience point away from leveling up, and he has luck. So we're going to send Obleaser. Although these guys do better on the main map, I'm still going to send a Bleaser to this one, and I won't send the JU-88, although that was a very tempting choice. So we'll do that. I'm setting this guy to the side. All right, let's move on to the next. That is a 5. That is not a good roll, and that is somebody goes home, so malfunction. So even in Germany North, it's not as punishing as the other one. We'd be intercepted by 2 or 3 guys. That's what these JU-88s are for. So he's doing his job and heading home. And now for the final roll. Yeah, that JU-88 will go low in case we get intercepted. And I rolled a 9, which is not going to get us intercepted, but it's a garble. What does garble do again? Each group has to play a delay marker or lose a TP. I'm not sure I care that I get a delay marker. So what that means is I'm just going to show up on mission turn 2 instead of mission turn 1. I'm okay with that. So let's put the camera over here on the tail. As you know, I'm bringing my heat in the rear with the gear. So there we go. Okay, I have a JU-88, 2 of them in fact. But I'm going to put these guys I'm going to put them on the flank low on the other side because I have an anchor on the other side. I can't go there. So everybody's just going to come up where the sun is, right? Because then we can attack from the sun, maybe get in some hits. And we got my JU-88s here as well. All right, so that's mission turn 2. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we do have this pursuit map. And this could be a dead on arrival situation. So I'm going to roll red for the engine, black for the wing. Okay, they both missed. So we have 2 TP. I'll just put this here. We're going to come in high nose like usual. And there we go, we get a hit. So this is what we're hoping for. Now we need a wing damage. We didn't get it, but I'll take the cockpit damage. That's a 50% chance of winning. And boom, we rolled a 7. That's a 5 to 10. We got a kill. And this was on a named pilot, which was the right gamble. So sometimes that gamble backfires, of course. This time it did not, and Bleaser is finally going to level up. He has luck right now, but we're going to give him timing, because timing has been so valuable so far, and he has 1 experience point left over. And then, of course, for the staff, we're going to get 2 experience and 2 victory points. That's the other awesome part. 2 victory points for kill. Okay. So continuing with mission 2. Remember, I'm entering the map like that and like that. I'm going to reduce the flight limit by 1. Yes, I'm going to shorten it again. And then you can see there I have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is going to drop to 11, and we're going to add 14 tactical points plus 6 is 20. So it's going to be all the way up there, and we're on mission turn 2. There is no cohesion check. There's no flak or anything, so we now move to mission turn 3, and this is when the magic's going to start happening. So first things first, all of this moves up to tail level, and you know what we do there. This is where all the fireworks start. On the other end, my guys are moving up to the sun, so they're going to be at flank level. However, this guy with the cable, he can move to anywhere in the tail for free when he comes in from the flank. That's one of the tricks we did at the beginning of the game. So he's going to come in tail high because he needs to go up to high bombing so his cable can work. So yeah, it takes him several turns to get there. Let me see, can he get to high bombing now if I spend TP? And the answer is no. I really wish he could, but it's just not enough. So, so he'll be able to get there next turn. And then we have a JU-88 that I don't know what to do with. So I will go ahead and move him up towards the sun just like everybody else as well. And I need to pause real quick, and then we can get started with the flak phase. Okay, blasting flak. So we're on mission turn 3 out of 11. We should have plenty of turns to get some points here. Obviously, we lost a turn because of the delay. We're losing turns because, you know, I needed to get extra TP points. But I still think we should have plenty because every time we've played so far, yeah, we've gone all the way to the end, hoping and praying that that one last bomber would fall. But for the most part, all of our primary fighters have a chance to do whatever it is that they're going to do and of course win. So we're going to start off with the rockets like we always do, and I think we're going to do. I need to think about this for a second. So what I think is see, we're anchored on this side. So it's going to be really hard to attack from this direction. So this group here, we may want to rocket them because it makes them fall, right? But am I realistically going to clear this entire map? I mean, am I really going to do it? I mean, we did it last time because we were over the target or near target, you know, and we had the flak helping us. We don't have the flak helping us this time. If I'm coming in from the sun, which those guys might do, that means I can go after that group there and that group over there pretty easily and get some nice advantages. This group up here is really juicy, especially when you attack them from the front. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to be very original here. I'm going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to hit this group with one set of rockets and then the middle group with the other. I think that's what we're going to continue to do. I think that the rear ones, the rear groups are going to get targeted by the cannons, and it might be the whole game just to bring down those rear groups. So even if we come in from the side, they may just be assisting the rear groups. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the advantage is of going after this front group other than we already have a damage on one of them. So that's maybe what I'm trying to, you know, take advantage of. This one here, there's one already gone. I have a feeling our cannons are going to take out the other two. Then the question is do we have enough cannons to take out those three over there to eventually help out with the middle ones? That is the $1,000,000 question, because we can damage these middle ones with our rockets, but we may never actually get to downing them because the cannons are too busy having to eliminate everybody else first. My thought process is I still target the middle ones because when we miss, we still hit another element. So when I roll poorly and the detonation can still, you know, land in a different element, and that helps us. So that's why we always target the middle one. I probably don't even need to explain it to those of you still watching. I think you all get it, and you're like, get on with the show. So let's do this. Rockets. Okay, so let's start with the ones up front. I always like to save the juiciest for last. It's like when I eat my dinner, I always eat the vegetables first because I want the best part last. All right, let's go. So you can see I got a black 8, which is a great number. And right here is an even better one. It's a 7. Well, not better, but you know what I mean. It's awesome. So a black 8 puts the detonation right here, right above this bomber. And then the 7 means we do 2 hits. So one thing we did learn is those 2 hits have to be on the same bomber. So not in this case, it doesn't matter, but so we got a fuselage of 10 and then an engine. So it'll be red and then black. So the red failed, but the black happened. So this bomber is fallen. And we get credit for that one. So we already got one that fell. And that's fantastic. So 1 experience point for that. And we still have 3 more rockets to go. So here's the next one. Okay, that 1 is a miss. The red 5 is a, I don't know what that is. Let's check. Okay, so the detonation would be, this is the imaginary 4th bomber. It would be here, and then I go this way. So that's actually helpful. That goes right into this other formation that we're trying to go after. So that's the second shot. Let's do the third shot. It's a 6, red 6, but that 4 is a miss. So the red 6 is, oh, very interesting. If this is the imaginary, it's here and then there. So we're hitting in the back there quite a bit. And then the last one is a 9, 6. This 6 is 1 hit. So we do get a hit, and then it's going to be a detonation very close. I just need to put these away, and then I can look it up real quick. All right, so the detonation is the black 9, which is here. And then the 6 is 1 hit. So obviously we have 1 bomber there to hit. And that bomber will be getting a fuselage of 1. So nothing that we can roll dice for, but that'll at least be going to kaput status if it doesn't fail cohesion. Now we go to this one, which already has 2. So it's already going to kaput status, and we haven't even started. So let's do the first roll. Oh, it's a 10-10. That sounds fantastic, but that's a complete miss. So that stinks. Next one, 9-7. That is a hit, and then the 7 is 2 hits. So I'm going to hit the one right up front. So the one up front, we're going to get a wing and an engine, and then, you know, as always, red, black. The wing falls. So the engine actually doesn't happen. It falls on the wing, so that's interesting. Got another bomber down. 3 wing damage. And that's an experience point. Okay, next. Ooh, we got a black 10 and a red 5. The 5 is a hit. And the black 10 is right smack in the middle. And we can hit either bomber. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this one right here. And the hit we get is a wing. 2. And then the last rocket. This middle is just getting rocked. Right now with all these detonations, both of these guys are falling. And so we got a red 8, and that's a hit. So it all depends on where the red 8 lands. The red 8 lands here. So that's another hit on that particular bomber. And it's a 7 engine. And so this bomber falls. And I can already tell you with great certainty that this one's falling because there's only 1 bomber left, and there's, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 detonations occurring. We don't even need to roll or resolve that. I'm just checking to see, like, are any of these detonations in another element? Like, this is the line for this element here. The line for this element is here. And the answer is no. The only thing that shared elements was this part, and it never went there. So we can roll for a cohesion check, but it doesn't matter, folks. 1, 2, that would be loose, kaput, and then fall right there. And then we still have 2 more. So this whole element is down, and I'm being a little premature, but I think you've watched enough of this series to understand what's happening there. And it's basically a bomber that has no damage, but he fell because there were just so many explosions. And I think we have a guy who can manufacture a bazillion hits by the name of the man, the myth, and the legend, the senior partner in Iflid Schmidt and Barr. So we might be able to hunt that guy down, no problem. So we got 3 bombers in the middle, all completely down. Okay, so now we got to go to the cohesion phase. We're not going to roll for the middle because it's not necessary, but this roll matters. If I can get this to go to loose before these detonations occur, then one of these bombers will fall. If I don't get it to go to loose before the detonations, then it's just going to go to kaput, and then we're sort of in a limbo. Okay, let's see. Okay, I rolled a 10. Normally that would be fantastic, but not in this case. So the 2 detonations cause it to go to kaput, which the next time, if it passes, it's just going to restabilize to loose. So not quite as good, but it's at least something. And we have 2 bombers that are damaged, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to go after them. Who knows? Okay, we're not done. Now we got cannons. And I do admit I shouldn't have done the cohesion check yet, but the cannons are only going to be shooting in the rear. So I have no confidence that we're going to get all the way up to the front. So we're going to go after these 2 first, though, because they're closer and it makes sense. We have 6 cannons. They're all ME410s, so it doesn't matter which one's which, and I'm just going to roll through them, and then if there's a no ammo, we'll take care of that. So let's go. We're going to start with this one first. That's a 4-1. It's a miss and a no ammo situation already. Jesus. All right, so we got 1 no ammo. So far, I have nothing for him to chase. Next one, number 2. That is a hit. We got an 8-5. So let's get the cup over. And the hit is a fuselage. I rolled a 7. Oh, and check this out. It's an elevator 3. So that's a dead on arrival if he goes down. So that was 2. I'm going to go to the 3rd attack, and I'm going to switch to this one, 3rd attack. That's a hit. And we have an engine 5. And it falls. I probably should have kept that on the first one. Okay, so we got another bomber down. Okay, now we go to the 4th attack out of 6. We're going to go back to this guy. That's doubles. So we lost another one. And then, hold on. There was a no ammo miss. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, attack 5. Okay, that's another doubles. So we're not doing so hot this time. And then 6. There we go. That's a hit. And we have an engine 5. And I really was hoping to bring him down because he's a dead on arrival, but he didn't go down. So now we have to do cohesion for this one, and nothing happens. So I'm down to 3 cannons. That hurts because we got all these BF-110s as well, but I have 3 cannons and that's it. Okay, so moving on to mission turn 4. We're in the move phase. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bombers to pursue. And yes, one of them has no damage at all. The other ones have various levels. I have 8 BF-110s just sitting there doing nothing. And yes, we've tried this before where we chase after them with the 8 BF-110s and then they don't do so hot. Because just one hit sends them to the crapper. I'm thinking. If we take down these 5 guys, that's 10 points. We're already at 2, so that would give us 12 for the mission. So there's a part of me that's like, you know what? Let's make everyone count. So I'm going to put this here and just start grabbing some of our name guys and get them the experience that they deserve, right? So first one we have Aaron's, who has an aim. He'll go after this one. And I'm just going to put this right on top of him. And yes, he has a cannon and an armor, which I will just leave off here to the side to reflect that. And then we have Frey, who just has luck. So we'll have him go after this one. We have, now we're getting into some of our better guys. Again, I'm just going to put their components off to the side. We have Schmidt, who can manufacture some hits. He will take on this one. We have Barr, who will take on this one. That has some wing damage. That one also has some wing damage. And then we have Ifland, the man, myth, and legend, taking on the completely undamaged bomber. And he's going to bring it down with ease, probably. So there we go. We have 5 named, and that's everything. I just committed everything I have. All I have left is auxiliaries. So is this the right choice? Well, it can be. Because even if I just get 12 experience points, if I don't lose my auxiliaries, I'll just do this again. I have 100 experience points to spend. You know, I just spent 7. I've gained back 4 so far. In fact, I forgot to add these 3 from there. So we have a kill for 2. That one was 3. This one doesn't count. 4, 5, 6, 7. We should have 7 experience now. So we've already gotten back the experience we spent. Now, granted, I'm not going to roll as well next time, but that's the point. I have 100. Okay. Rest of my movement, the JU-88 here is going to go to the high sun. We can use that to our advantage. This one back here is going to go to high bombing to use as cable. And then these BF-110s that use their rockets, it says that they can go to any flank for 1 TP. So they're going to go as a group, so this is just 1 TP, to the flank sun. So I'm going to attack with them, yes, and I'm going to use the sun to my advantage, and that does cost me a 1 TP to do. So we'll go ahead and get some attacks in. We'll use the sun. I don't care about Rada or Schwarm or anything like that, although the Schwarm would be very nice. We'll see if we can eke out a few more hits. If they're coming in evasive, their +1 lethality doesn't apply. The sun gives them like a luck skill, so maybe we can get in 1 or 2 hits. I'm not expecting, with 8 of them, I'm expecting maybe 2 hits. Okay, that's our move phase. So now let's do the cannons. We only have 3 of them left. Let's keep picking on this guy right here. There's number 1, and that's a hit. It is a fuselage 10, and this guy's just going to keep taking hits and not go down. Number 2, that's a miss, and number 3, there's a hit. All right, it is a fuselage that I don't even get to roll, and sure enough, he's just staying there and not going down. The good news is the cohesion check is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now, and of course I roll a 7. And then I'm going to do the cohesion check, which is off camera. That's a 4. I rolled a 5, so that kaput improves to a loose, which is what we expected. Everything else is completely untouched. Oh, I get to do the cable. I forgot to do the cable. That happens during blast and flak. So the cable works best if you go after an unloose element, which actually this one is. So here, let me show you. It's rules that I don't see or use very often. But see, we're going to roll 2 dice, add their numbers to make a sum, and then find the results on this table. If it's in good order, meaning it's not loose or kaput, see, if you roll a 9 or better, you get better results. Now, these can cause the cohesion check to fail. But then what you do is you remove the target marker, randomly draw a proximity, place it in the element. It stays there until the cohesion phase. And then, of course, if you get a proximity with a number on it, then there's an impact. And that means it's going to, I think you get to hit it 4 times. So let's do that. We're going to do a cable on this element because it's still a good element. Even though there's 2 fallen bombers, we're going to go ahead and pick on this one. And I just rolled a 17, which is fantastic. A 17 is 2 of them. So what did I roll for the cohesion check? I think I rolled a 7. It would have failed the cohesion check. Okay, but let's do this first. So I draw 2, and if any of them have this number on it, then it's going to take some hits. So there it is. I drew 2 of them. Jesus. So I think this thing's going to be destroyed, personally. Let me... I wrote down page 24 here, so I think that's where I need to go. Select the bomber in the element and roll a die. If the number rolled is less than the number printed on the proximity marker, the bomber collides with the cable. Remove the cable attachment and draw 4 damage markers. If the bomber falls out of the formation and is destroyed, you earn experience and victory points. If equal to or less, leave the marker in the element. So they got a rules error here. So it says if the number rolled is less than the number printed on the marker, so less than 2, there's a collision, which is the way collisions work if you draw it normally. But here it says if equal to or less, leave the marker in the element and the cable remains attached. If equal to or less. I think they meant to say equal to or more. Yeah, I think they meant to say equal to or more. Because then the cable would remain attached and you get to do it again next round. Yeah, because a collision only occurs if you're less than the number. If it's equal to or higher, the collision is avoided. So that's the way regular collision rules work. Okay, so we have 2 of them, and I guess we got to roll 2 dice. So we don't necessarily hit the bomber. Let's roll 2 dice, and that is equal. That is not less. So neither of them collided. These cables suck. They really do. But it did add 2 more markers to this. And if you remember, I rolled a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I said that I failed. But those 2 markers I just drew turned this into an 8. So the 7 would have caused at least this to happen. It's now a loose formation. I don't know what good that does, but it adds yet another marker. So there's a good chance that this guy's going to fall on his own. All right. Now I think we're done. So we're going to move to mission turn 5. So mission turn 5, I got to commit to what I'm going to do. I got all those guys sitting there. So should I attack? Well, if I do attack, where am I going to attack, right? I have two threat here, 2 threat there. And this is technically 2 here. So I can go after these guys. Well, this one's already down, but I can go after these 2 guys pretty much with impunity. It's only 1 threat for that guy on the end, so I could actually go after him. And it's only 1 threat for that one in the back. I know the cannons are going to be targeting him, but we could go after him. There's a lot of stuff I think we can try to do. And remember, I'm coming in evasive, so yeah, I'm going to commit. All those guys you see over there are coming. We're going to come hard and fast. So that means I got to do this phase here. So we're going to do the cable and the 3 cannons. Let's start with the cable. I got to pick something that is not loose, right? So I can pick that group back there, or I can try picking one of these groups, you know, that I'm planning on maybe attacking soon. But I don't see any harm in going after this group back here and see if we can get that one to go loose. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. I rolled a 12, and you can see here a 12 is 1 marker. And the 1 marker is, oh, another proximity. And I still fail the proximity check, but that proximity then goes into that element and it'll help with the cohesion failure possibility. All right, so now we got 3 cannons, and I'm going to target this guy right here. Cannon 1's a miss. Cannon 2 is a miss. Cannon 3 is a miss. So that was a lot of nothing. And now we get to do our attack. So I got 4 BF-110s. Remember, everyone's going to be evasive. So we're going to go here, 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 and here. And then for wave 2, we're going to do the same thing. So this is 2 separate waves. I'm cheating a little bit, but I'm trying to speed up the game. So there's no collision check because it's 2 waves of attacks. I do have 1 Ju-88 here that I said would commit, and now I'm wondering where do I send him. If I flip him over, he still has a +1. And I could have him go here because this is a 4, 3, 2, 1. You know what? We have to roll cohesion check first. So let's do the cohesion check for this. A 6 makes this go to kaput. That changes things for me. Because if I come in evasive, I'm only at a threat 1, like so. Or like I said, I could just avoid that one altogether. So what would I do, though? That's the question. That one up there, the cohesion check automatically passes, so this marker was pointless. I think I can go after this one. This 2 becomes a 3. Ooh, do I really want to do that? You know what? He is going to go after this one group just because I just don't feel like any other situation is conducive. He's just going to have a lot of threat. Now, where are they going? I don't want to go straight across because I think we're gonna dive roll to the nose. Everybody's dive rolling to the nose. Okay? So let's start with this guy back here. This is a 0 threat, but he adds +1. So it's oblique high, evasive. Oblique high, evasive 1 is actually a hit. Oh my gosh, and then he progresses 2. So his 2 will be 1, 2 like that. And that's bad, because that's a 4 threat area he just moved into. I'm sorry. 1, 2, he would actually be here. So it's a 3 threat, but he does do a hit. That part's cool. Which means that this bomber is definitely going to start failing his cohesions. And I still didn't roll high enough, but we just added another marker, yet another one on this thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, there's a real good chance he's failing his cohesion checks. All right, then we gotta continue. We gotta do continuing fire for this guy. He is a Ju-88, so we're gonna draw this one. He is evasive, but he's in a 3, which is a hit. Okay, the sun will block that hit, but then we gotta do this nonsense, and he could get hit again. Or if we roll an even, then magic happens. I did not roll an even. Oh, if odd, skip continuing fire, break away now. So he doesn't take a hit. I apologize, I didn't read it. We needed to roll an even. So we're going to break away now, and he returns to the evasive return box. Undamaged, which is the goal. So where to next? Where do we want to resolve next? I think let's go ahead and do these nose guys, And remember, these are separate waves, so no collision checks. We're just going to resolve them all at once. I'll start with this one. Here's the entire oblique deck. So they're all the same. This one here is a 4-3-2. So this is going to be oblique high 2. And there's a hit, but the sun blocks it, and he progresses 2. And that 2 will put him here. Same deal. Oblique high 2. He takes a hit. It'll progress 1. It doesn't matter whether it was 1 or 2. There's only one place for him to go. This one, oblique high 0. This is an oblique high 0 because of this. There we get a hit. And then the next guy, a nothing. And they, of course, progress to here. So we do get to draw a hit, so let's do that. And the hit is a wing. So there's 2. Oh, was I supposed to roll? Yes, let's roll. Oh, not enough. Okay, did anybody have to use luck? Yes, this first one did. So let's do the continuing fire now. This is a 2, which gets reduced by 1. So that's a 1 continuing fire. And we were dive rolling, so we get to skip. So no damage for him. The next one, no damage. The last one, this one here, these are at 0. Nothing. And this one was at 0, nothing. So all 4 of these guys make it out of there undamaged. And that's where the sun can really be beneficial, right? Because we're making this work in our favor. All right, so there we go. We got all those guys sitting there undamaged. We like that. And we actually did do 2 hits so far. So that's already at the average that I was expecting, right? So moving the deck up, this is a threat of 2. So oblique high 2, that's nothing. And then the next one is nothing, and they both progress 2. So that means they would go here, which is a 2. Nothing. 2. Nothing. So this was just nothing but a stroll in the park. I was hoping that we would damage something here because these guys are going to be dive rolling into this higher area. But theirs is just a 1, oblique high 1. Nothing. Hit. So one of them hit. And they both progressed 2. So just putting the deck away. Getting in the hit. It is a fuselage, which is just a gunner hit, and they both progress 2, which is 1, 2, and they're in the 3 threat area. They moved up to 3 threat. So here's the first one, nothing. Second one, nothing. We even had the sun. I mean, we could have blocked more hits. The sun didn't even help us. Like, we were doing that well. But I was intentionally picking very low threat, and of course always being evasive helps. No harm, no foul. We got 2 hits in. That was a lot of time wasted for such a little improvement, but we now move to turn 6. Okay, so in turn 6, these guys are all going to return to this box. We have 3 cannons that are going to fire, and we have a cable. So I'm going to use the cable again in this back element here, in this element right here, and I rolled a 9, which is still one token. So the 1 token I'm drawing is that. I mean, it doesn't do anything, but it does affect cohesion. And then let's do the 3 cannons, starting with this one. That's a miss. It's a no ammo. last one. A miss. We're not doing as well this time, folks. Okay, cohesion check. Let's start with this one up front. Nothing. The one in the back, nothing. So that proximity marker goes away. And then this one should fail, and it does. So this guy's a dead on arrival, because the elevator 3. So I'm throwing him back in the cup and just taking one of these no ammo guys off the board, because that's what they're for, right? They just show up to confirm the kills. They don't need ammo to do that. So we're gonna go ahead and claim 3 experience points, because this fell, and then 2 victory points. All right, so that's another element gone. Now we move to mission turn 7. Mission turn 7, we have all these fighters, and they move up to low. And then we're gonna go ahead and keep pounding on the back here, because I don't know what else to do. Let's do the cable, and 8 is nothing. And then we have 2 cannons. Miss, miss. So we're missing a lot. All right, mission turn, cohesion checks. This one up in the front, that's not enough. Okay, so we can move back to the flank for 0 TP. I can go to any flank from nose low. So I can go back into the sun and try again. It's an interesting proposition. I mean, it didn't hurt us last time. You know, how many times you want to play with fire is the question, right? Or I can attack from the nose, which, again, I don't know how advantageous, because I don't have the sun helping me anymore. The sun did block some hits. You know what? I have nothing else to do. I'm going to roll over to the sun. So we're now back at flank high, where the sun is. But that was a full move, so there's nothing more we can do. And let's roll for the cable. 5 is not enough. Cannon 1, miss. Cannon 2, miss. All right, cohesion on the front, miss. So we are now on to turn 9. We're running out of turns. So I can commit and get some attacks in. That's the best I can do. We literally have 2 turns left. There are 3 if you count this one. This one plus 2 more. Whoever I attack with can't pursue. That's an important distinction. So even if I attack and I can add some hits to some of these bombers and bring them down, I can't pursue them unless I pursue them with one of my no ammo guys, or the 2 cannons that are still sitting at the tail level, or the guy sitting with the cable. So I think I'm going to just not attack. I mean, maybe I should, but unless I can pursue them, I don't know what the point is. So I'm going to go ahead and just sit still, and we're going to hope that our cables and tails are going to finally be able to do something. So here's the cable. 6 is a nothing burger. Cannon 1 is a miss. Cannon 2. There's a hit. That's the first hit in how long? I mean, it's just been so awful. So we got an engine hit, and it falls. So we do have a fall, and we need to pursue this. And I don't have any name guys to pursue it with. So, like, if I send, it'll be like a BF-110 or something that goes after that. That's an interesting dilemma. But yes, we have a fall. All right, so red will be the one off camera, and black will be this one for cohesion check. And they both, hold on. The red one fails. So the one off camera I keep mentioning is this one, so this goes to kaput. All right, so we're on mission turn 10. I need to go after that particular bomber. All he has is engine damage and nothing else. So I'm going to commit 2 BF-110s to go after him. And my logic being that well, I might send 2 to the crapper, but you know, maybe between 2 of them we can get him. We have a kaput here, which makes this an interesting attack situation. I don't know what to do. They're all the way up in the front, and like I said, if they fall, I still have to chase them. None of these are guaranteed kills. And then I may just end up losing OP because I'm sending nothing but BF-110s after them anyway. So that may not be a very wise choice. So I think I'm just going to stick to my guns. I mean, I could move my cable somewhere else and go after like one of these, but you've seen that's like pointless. The cable hasn't even helped once this whole mission. This cable, oh, actually it helped the other formation to go kaput. So let's do cable. I rolled a 5, so it's nothing. Let's do cannon 1. That's a hit. And we got a wing. And then cannon 2. It's another hit, but he's out of ammo. And I rolled a 5. That's a rudder. That's a kill. If this thing were to go down, this is a kill. All right, but I'm out of ammo on one of my guys. So I lost yet another one. And I'm on the final turn of the game. Right now. It's the final turn of the game. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to send 2 BF-110s to chase something. We don't know what, but just in case I can chase something. This guy's going to go home. These 2 BF-110s are going to attack from the high oblique. We're going to attack this guy right here. And then these 2 are going to go home. I forgot to do cohesion. Red is for the one off camera. So this failed, and 1, 2, 3, 4. This one still passed. This is interesting. This one, a bomber fell. And it would be this one. So we have another fallen. All right, so that changes things a little. Those 2 BF-110s that I just said were going to go home, they're actually going to pursue that particular bomber. So we're going to pursue that bomber with these 2 BF-110s, and then they have 2 BF-110s just sitting there on standby in case another one falls throughout the rest of this phase that we're going to do. I need to add these experience points for the falls. This improves back to loose. So this is basically done. Doesn't even matter what I roll this turn. So we're going to go ahead and just start putting stuff away. And then these other elements are already completely destroyed. Just start putting all of them away. The only element that matters is this one. So the attack happens last. So we're going to go ahead and do our cable. That's an 18. That's a good roll. That is 2. So we get to put 2 tokens down. And those 2 tokens are a proximity and a 3. So let's roll for the 3. Okay, I didn't roll enough to do damage, but they will sit there for cohesion purposes. Again, cohesion check, this isn't going to matter much. So it's a little silly and pointless. And then we're going to roll for our cannon. And the cannon missed, so that was pointless. And I'm just... Okay, so we got 2 attacks from oblique high. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go towards the tail because I don't want to go where the threat levels are high. We get to do cohesion check before then, and it's a 4. So with those 2 extra tokens, we did get it to drop to a loose element. So everything's -1, and that helps us. And I know my guys look like they're determined, but they're actually going to be evasive because I would rather them not die. So the first one is oblique high, evasive, and this is a 0 because the element's loose. So that's a hit, and then he gets into no ammo status. And then the next one oblique high, evasive. He takes a hit, but he has the sun, so we're okay. And then they both have a progress of 2. So they would go to here, which is a threat of 2 minus 1 is 1, unless this falls. So let's draw the hit to see what happens. And the hit is a 9, which is a very high roll. And I didn't do it. And it is 3 wing damage. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage out of the 10 needed to take him down, and he gets away. That actually blows. We were 1 hit away. Okay. You win some, you lose some. That's what Coach Cowher said at the end of Super Bowl 30 when he almost beat the much favored Dallas Cowboys because Neil O'Donnell threw 2 of the most boneheaded interceptions you could ever imagine in the history of mankind. And then the Jets signed him to a wonderful deal and overpaid him, and he went down in history as a nobody. The Steelers were on the verge of overtaking the Cowboys and possibly winning the game, and threw 2 interceptions in 2 critical drives in a row in the 3rd and 4th quarter, causing Bill Cowher to look at his daughters and say those infamous words, "You win some, you lose some." And it took him 10 more years before he made it back to that Super Bowl, and he beat the Seattle Seahawks in a game that they claim that the refs cheated. And the refs didn't cheat, not even in the slightest. If you pay attention, the Seattle Seahawks did not offensively go across the 50-yard line the entire game. They could not offensively move past the 50-yard line the entire game. Yes, they scored points, and they even scored touchdowns, but that's because their defense gave them the ball inside the red zone or inside the 50-yard line. They never once received the ball and was able to move past the 50. That is how much the Steelers defense under Coach Cowher dominated the Seattle Seahawks. And they will tell you that the refs cheated them and caused them to lose that game. Any team that cannot offensively move past the 50-yard line does not deserve to win. And I'm sorry, Seattle Seahawks fan, but you sucked that day. And the Steelers were a way better team. And they were the 6th seed. They beat the Indianapolis Colts in a miracle game that nobody thought they could win. And even in the final drive when the game was being iced, Ben Roethlisberger went to hand it off to Jerome Bettis, and they fumbled the ball. And there was a defender from the Indianapolis Colts trying to get that ball, and Ben Roethlisberger was able to tackle him by his shoestrings, preventing the Colts from winning that game. And then they went on to play the Denver Broncos in Denver Stadium, and they trounced the Denver Broncos. And then they went on and played, at first they played the Cincinnati Bengals, even before they went up against the Colts. And they beat the Bengals, who had won the division. And then they went and beat Denver. And then they beat the number 1 team in the entire NFL, the Seattle Seahawks, who could not one time, offensively move past the 50-yard line. All of that because one man said, you win some, you lose some. And there we go. We won some and we lost some. All right, let's move. These 2 guys have nothing to go for, so they're going to go home. I could actually have them join this, so why not? We'll just have 4 guys do that. All right, so I pretty much know this by heart now. I'm going to start making mistakes when we move to a new one that has something written differently because I'm not even going to pay attention to it. I don't think the matter the order that we resolve these matters very much. But let's start with the BF110s, because these are the ones that obviously we don't want to lose OP because of these. And what we have here is we have a gunner, which is going to help us because that's going to reduce the penalty. And then we have a wing damage. And let me grab these dice. And for the wing damage, nothing happened. And then let's roll for the sun. And I rolled a 9, which is excellent because the sun's right here. So all 4 of these can come in and do nose high with the sun at their back. And what an amazing concept. And then with this being a -1, they can come in determined and it's at nose high 0, which is even better. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And what we got here is 4 cards that all say nose attack on them. Let's verify. All right. And we're just going to go one at a time. BF110s, nose high 0. Let's see what happens. And we have the sun at our back. Here's the first one. We take a hit. Second one, nothing. Third one, we do a hit and he's got no ammo. And then the fourth one, we do a hit. Okay, so we're going to do 2 hits and we're going to take a hit, and then we have a no ammo. The no ammo guy, he's just going to go home. I'm not going to worry about him. The one where we take a hit, if I roll an even, the sun blocks it. And of course I don't. So let's roll for his damage. And his damage is a 4. Come on. There we go. I rolled a 9. So no damage for the guy who took a hit. And then 2 of them did a hit. So let's deal with those. Here's number 1. And here's number 2. So the first one is just a fuselage, which will count as 2 damage over here. And then the second one is 4 wing damage. And right there you have it. 4 plus 2, 6. Even the count would be happy with that. And all 3 of these guys are going to go home safely. And that was pretty much my largest goal of this whole thing. And then not only that, we got the bonus of killing this thing. So we are now at 6 victory points. So well done, squad. Okay, now we got this next one, which has an engine damage and 2 guys, but we don't have the gunner helping us. And let's roll for sun. Let's roll for the engine damage. And so we have neither. So we don't have as much help as last time. I'm going to give them 2 TP. It puts me down to 17. And I'm going to have them come in nose high evasive. So that way they have a 0. So it's going to be nose high 0 evasive. Let's see what happens. So nose high 0 evasive is a hit and a miss. I'll take that. That's decent. So let's get our hit. And it's a fuselage with a 2 rudder. Not enough. So because we had 2 evasive, I have to spend 2 TP. And then now I have to come in tail level low, or otherwise I'm done. So it's going to be tail level 3, not low, tail level 3 in both of these. And this is where I start taking hits and dying. All right, so here's the first one. Tail level 3, and we are being determined, so we take a hit. And then the next one, tail level 3, we take a hit, we do a hit, we ride the tail. So let's do the hit first. It's a wing of just 1. And I did not roll high enough. So we're going to ride the tail. We take a hit, we ride the tail. We take a hit, we do a hit, we ride the tail. So we're going to do another hit. Another wing of 2. And there we go, we destroyed it. So I don't know if the 2 victory points was worth it, but I did press hard. And we did just get 2, which is what we wanted. All right, so this first guy took 1 hit. So that's a wing of 6, and I rolled a 6, so he goes home okay. This next guy, however, took 3 hits. And just to recount, 1, 2, 3. And then that was the hit for the first guy. So we got to draw 3 hits for this guy. Hit number 1. And hit number 2 and 3. So we got a wing of 6, a wing of 4, and an elevator 7. Elevator is not bad. A 6 to 10 survives. So we're going to roll the elevator first. And yeah, we just failed the elevator and avoided the wing damage. So we do have a guy that possibly is going to get killed. But so far, I think we're doing okay. So now we're going to get to our name guys. Obviously, I don't want to lose these guys at all, but we do have the benefit of luck and other things to our advantage. So let's start with this guy. All right, so we have an engine damage and a wing. So I'm going to roll red and black, red for the engine, and he's dead on arrival for the wing, or the engine, I mean. Actually, for both. So Frey doesn't get anything, which is a little sad, but the victory points is why we're here. That puts us up to 10 victory points. And Frey goes home safely, which is the more important thing. Okay, the next one is Aaron's. And he has an engine and a fuselage. We'll roll for the engine. We're going to roll for the sun. There's neither. So I'm going to give him 2 more TP. So we're now down to 15. We have plenty of TP. I'm actually being stingy right now. And then Aaron's has a timing. So we're going to come in nose high 0. And we do a hit. And then his timing will add a second hit. And these guys have armor, everything. They have the whole 9 yards. So here's the first hit. And I'm going to take the wing damage. Then for the second hit, I'll take more wing damage. So I rolled a 7 and that's enough. Aaron's gets the kill. He is well on his way. He's up to 3 experience. And he did have to use his timing, and he's doing great. So 2 experience points, 2 victory points. We're up to 12. All right, next one. Let's do bar. It's time for the bar tab. We have a wing. Nothing, and then the sun is coming right from where bar is. And bar is going to take 4 TP. So here we go. Nose high 0. Nose high 0 is a hit. So the rich just get richer in that regard. But no complaining about that. Here we go. Bar has, right there, that's 7 wing damage. That's a kill. He didn't even have to use anything. All right, so Bar gets 2 experience. So he's up to 3. And we're up to 14. Okay, next up, Schmidt. So yeah, the attorneys are going undefeated right now. And here we go. I rolled a 10. That was a dead on arrival. So Schmidt doesn't get anything, but that's another 2 victory points. We're up to 16. And then next up is the man, the myth, and the legend. Ifland against a 0 damage bomber. I have 11 TP left. So here we go. Nose high 0. Let's roll for sun. Doesn't matter. It's going to be obliterated. We just did a hit, which wasn't even fair to this guy. That goes away. So we could do a fuselage or an engine. I will do the engine. And it goes up 2. All right, so now we're going to use our first timing. And here we go. We got a second engine hit, so I will take that. And then we're going to use our first aim. And I'm going to do a wing. Now we're going to do our second timing. And I'm going to do a wing. And there it is. He still had a second aim and a third timing to go. So there was just no mercy. This guy, if there was anything that I had confidence in, it was that Ifland is going to get the job done. And he had 3 luck to absorb any hits. And he levels up yet again. And Andrew, I remember your comment, and I am listening, and we will give him quick. So he is, just to give you a rundown, he's gotten so many experience points. He has luck times 3, aim, this is actually timing, not target, aim, and then timing times 2, and then I just added quick. This is in the noob category, but that's all right. He's immortal, or at least I hope he is, and he is showing it. All right, so we got one last thing to do other than moving my markers out of the way. And yeah, I put armor on these guys. I mean, really just because, it's fun to try, but they haven't needed it yet. The guys who need armor are these guys, and I don't think I can put armor on them. All right, so I picked elevator because a 6 to a 10 survives. That's the best possible roll of all these, so let's hope we get it. And I rolled an 8, and there we go. The one threat that we had makes it home. He actually lands safely. So how long did that take us? That's an hour and 22 per mission. That's crazy. So here we are. I was sitting on 100 experience points. We lose 7. I got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26. So 26 minus 7 is 19. I'm at 119 experience points. I'm just growing and growing. We're now at a point where I think I can just spend them every round now. It doesn't matter. We have a no negative OP penalty. So guess what our next mission is going to be? It's going to be more inbound. And we had 81 victory points. We scored 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 81, 91, and 8. And we are at 99 victory points. And we still have 3 more missions to go. We got to get to 120. So technically I'm 21 points away. At my pace of getting 18 here, and 13, and 20, and 16 in these last... we should easily hit it, assuming things go normally. Then after we hit it, the real question comes up of, okay, what do we do? Right? Because technically you're supposed to play the missions, even though it's pointless to play them. And there's no such thing as getting triple the points. So like if I were to get to 180, could I score a 3 victory? I think I'm going at a pace where 20, 40, 60... Yeah, I would not quite get to 180, but I would actually get pretty close. So yeah, I think I'm showing that those tail level gunners are very powerful. Always. They're always, always powerful. And then this advanced game is just an annoying exercise of you got to save OP points so you can pursue. If I didn't have to pursue, we'd be doing a lot more swarm, and these maps would be getting obliterated. I'd be doing swarm on the main map and just obliterating these formations because there's no need to do swarm at all. And my fighters would be getting experience points just by making the bombers fall, right? Because that's the basic game. You score 1 victory experience point if you make the bomber fall. So coming in and swarming and doing all those things, the basic game is actually more fun. Now, what happens in the basic game is you don't get as many experience points for the staff. Like, the fact that I'm at 119 for the staff, that is a byproduct of the advanced game. You just earn experience, because you earn experience points for them falling, and then you earn them again whenever you pursue them and take them down. So you're earning 3 experience points every time a bomber falls, whereas in the basic game, you're only earning 1 if a bomber falls. Because once it falls, it's gone, and then it's not your staff's job to chase after it. So that's where the trade-offs go. But experience points don't win the game. They just make it so you can get rid of those pesky escorts and some of the things that maybe you'll have to deal with a bit more in the basic game. So with that being said, I really like the basic game. I think that maybe I would start adopting some of these optional rules with the basic game and then get rid of the advanced pursuit map. I just don't, the pursuit map, and I know some of you have made these comments, it's not very fun. The fact that you have to pursue, though, does make the game more complicated and more difficult. There's no argument there. So if we go into the advanced game rules, pursuit map is a very big thing. The Ju-88 cannon, I never even read about what that does. Hold on, what is... it may attack from the return box during the burst step. To resolve this attack, use the same procedure. I didn't even know that. So yeah, I can send a Ju-88 with a cannon and then attack these bombers safely from far away. It costs 0 TP to do this. Oh my gosh, that makes it even worse. I didn't even know I could do that. And that just makes, well, it means I can, yeah, there's a lot of options there. There's definitely a lot of options there. Interference makes the pursuit map harder. YB41 makes this map harder. The bombers can actually show up with a YB41 on them, and that makes the threat levels around them tougher. The shrinking box makes this map easier, and what that means is a shrinking box is if this element were completely destroyed, it would create a -1 effect on every element that's adjacent to it. So it actually would cause the threat levels everywhere else to go down. We're not doing that today, but that's what this shrinking box thing does. The YB41 is, there's this little token right here. And what you do is you put this into the damage box. So when you draw a damage marker and, to damage the bomber, if you draw this, then that means that the bomber is equipped with a YB, and then you have to immediately adjust all the threat levels because it, I don't know, it has extra gunners on it. It doesn't mean the bomber doesn't take a hit. It's just that's a mechanism. So this one marker is in that giant pool of tokens. It's really a pain in the butt because I bet we could play a whole campaign and never draw this thing. So that's why I was never thrilled about that one. The Sturm 190, we've talked about that a ton. I mean, I'm starting to like it more and more as we play. The aggressive attitude is something that only Sturm 190s can have. And it's really nice. You could choose to go no ammo to get those extra hits in, like if you want to get a kill. I think that the two of them combined are pretty awesome. The Comets are, they're from a 1945 rule. I think they're similar to the ME-262s because the Comets are like the ME-163s. So we had the ME-262 rules for the base game. I've never played a 1945 year ever because every time I play the campaign, I either win or lose before I get there. Aft firing rockets. That's an interesting one because remember, we can only bring 8 rockets in the game. And then what this is you can load these on like an FW-190 and they go up, instead of them going to tail level, they go up to nose level. And then of course they shoot out of the rear. So you just load them up with some Taco Bell and then they let the magic happen. The Staffel erosion is actually, that's a kick in the nuts. That one right there. What that is this table here. If you won the previous season, you get to add +1. This is like between each mission, you roll this. If you aborted the previous mission, it's a -1. The lower number is awful. Like your pilot just gets killed. And then here your airfield's attacked and you lose 4 OP. Here your pilot's wounded. Here you get -2 OP. Operational crisis. I may not use staff commands, which means I can't spend experience points. Here I can't use staff commands. Here you earn an experience point. 2 experience, so 7, 8, 9 is something positive, and 10 would be something awesome. you get the expert skill, but you're not allowed to fly the next mission, which still is awesome. So you have 40% chance of something awesome. These two are neutral-ish. And then you have a 40% chance of something awful. And then it just gets worse. I mean, it doesn't get better. It gets worse as you go on. This, I mean, you know, this really would cause you to lose a campaign because you can just roll bad and all these bad things happen to you. I mean, yeah, you can earn a staff experience. Big whoop. I mean, you can see I'm sitting on 119. Here, a pilot earns an experience point. So now you got to roll a 9 just to get an experience point. Here you start with a 2 TP max. You start with 1 TP max and you may not use auxiliary fighters. I mean, you see how bad this gets? And this is 1943 late. This is the year we would be doing. Lose 4 OP, 1 TP max, 2 OP. So you would have to roll an 8 or better to come out of this okay. Now, granted, I'm creaming 1943 late. You know that. I mean, you're seeing it happen. So you could argue, hey, you need to play with Staffo Erosion because without this penalty here, you're making it look too easy. And I would say that you're absolutely right if that's what you were thinking. And I'm thinking it too. That's the whole reason I brought it up. It's not like I can telepathically hear what you're thinking in the future because I haven't even uploaded this video yet. I'm thinking exactly that. Maybe I need to add this to my game so I have a better challenge for this particular season. I just don't know. I mean, this is where it gets into a philosophical boundary. When is a game fun and when is it not fun? And for me, a game becomes not fun when things just happen to you and you had no control over it. Like, I'm not as interested in that. Now, I know a lot of people play like Silent Victory, and I think Target for Today is another one. I got the Night Fighter Ace that I still have it. So the thing, and I can appreciate it. Like, I don't hate those games on merit. Those games are great for what they're trying to do. People want to sit down and have a story be told to them. And so they roll dice and then see what happens. And then it's sort of like they're watching a movie and, some characters live, some characters die, and then at the end, everybody's all emotional and so it's about recreating history, and that's what this is. But from a gameplay perspective, I come from a Euro background and I love war games too. Like, I'm sort of like a mixture of the two. This whole roll a die and see what happens to you. This is Monopoly. This is the game of life. This is Parcheesi. This is, at least in Parcheesi, you have a choice. You can move this guy or that one, this piece or that piece. I don't feel like I have any choices here. This is just, grab your ankles and see what happens to you. And oh, by the way, we designed the game to be a little too easy, so you need this table to make it harder for you again. That is not fun to me. Because it's not like I got an extra challenge. It's not like I'm playing against a stronger AI. I'm basically just being handicapped because I'm too good or whatever arrogant thing I can say. That's why I've never played with this table. And I know I've probably explained that before. And then, of course, in 44 and 45, it's even worse. Or maybe it's the same. Looks like it's the same. Here, look, you get +1 OP next mission, +2. That's only if you roll a perfect 10. But anyways, that is the Staffo Erosion. And then this Sonderkommando Elba thing. I remember not really thinking anything positive out of it. I don't even remember what it is. Oh, these are on a very specific season in 1945, like on the sixth and final mission of 1945. Basically, it's kamikaze pilots. So if you draw a collision, your kamikaze pilot will end his life to take down a bomber. It's really a dumb rule because unless you're playing, like, you can just play like a smaller campaign that's only one season, and you chose the 1945 season, then maybe this would be helpful. I don't know. Anyways, I'm sorry I made this video a lot longer. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay awesome. We're creaming this season. I got to do at least a minimum of one more to win this game. And somebody pointed out that those escorts are coming, and I'm not going to be able to avoid them as much. So anyways, thank you. And as always, stay awesome.